welcome back to Box Delights. In this video I wanted to give you a preview of an upcoming Kickstarter. It's called SALTLANDS. The gameplay is 1 to 6. I've set up a 4-player game here. You're on the SALTLANDS, okay? This is a post-apocalyptic world where the earth has dried out. We are a group of survivors. The game is... it's interesting, and this is one of the things that you're going to love about this, and kind of this meta game that's going on. The game is kind of competitive, it's kind of cooperative. So semi-cooperative, possibly. The point is that you win the game by finding escape points. You're going to be collecting rumours, and these rumours are going to allow you to explore and find these escape points. But you could escape on your own, or you could group up with some other players. So it could be that, you know, 2 of you decide to take on the other 2, or someone wants to be a bit of a lone wolf. Or it could be that you all decide to all escape together. But you're also playing against the game. Okay, there's 5 rounds. So if you get to there's actually a 0th round, but we'll talk about that in a minute. It's just kind of an initialization round. Your idea is to escape before these 5 rounds finish. If nobody escapes before the end of the 5th round, then everybody loses. Okay, so you can kind of win together, win alone, team up, however you wish. Pretty neat, huh? I've chosen 4 players. We've got the transporter, the scientist, the arsonist, and the ploughman. There's also a healer and a little girl that you can play. There's going to be more playable characters with the Kickstarter stretch goals, I imagine. And also we're going to have 3D printed miniatures. There's raider miniatures in the game. Raiders are kind of your enemy. They're the bad guys that are out there, hordes on their gas-guzzling machines. Kind of think Mad Max kind of style. That's one part of the setup I've not completed actually, and that's to put the starting raiders here on the terrain. We've got unrevealed terrain. We've got a starting hex here. These things are going to be they're just associated with a tile, and they represent the rumour markers where we think these exit points might be. So let's draw some starting raiders. They've got dirt bikes and quads and buggies and tracked vehicles. Up here we have a wind direction marker, and these tokens here show you the strength of the wind, because some of our vehicles are wind powered, and that's initially how we're going to get across this dried up seabed, these salt lands. Each of our characters starts with a character card on their playmat. They've got a vehicle slot here, and everyone starts with a land sail. Yeah, and also some starting items. We've got a spear, some water, and a special item for each character. For example, the transporter here starts with some binoculars that allows him to reveal some terrain tiles. They have special abilities. So the transporter is a born driver. He gets to move an additional hex with any vehicle, for example. We're set up, ready to go. These are our rumour cards, by the way. We've got different numbers of raiders depending on the number of players. So 4 players, 4 groups of raiders. This is a mirage deck. These are going to be items and vehicles we can find strewn across the Saltlands. These are supply cards. These are things that you can pick up from defeating raiders. And this is the raider deck. So there is some combat in this game, some fighting, but you can't attack each other. Players are able to backstab and form alliances however they wish, but they've all got one common enemy, the raiders. One final bit of setup before we get going. The rumour cards, in order to give you some variability, remove 3 from the game. So you should know we've got 6 rumour cards. These are the things that are going to help us find the escape points as we explore the Saltlands. Players are going to take turns. You can go clockwise, anti-clockwise, however you wish. Let's start with Transporter. So Transporter goes first. He places his marker on the entry point of the Saltlands, which is here. During the first turn of the game, all players are going to start here, and you must move away from that entry point on your first turn of the game, kind of vacating it for the next player. And we're going to follow like an action system. So very familiar for gamers. You're going to take actions, then we're going to activate raiders, and then we're going to start the next round. And these raiders are going to activate one group after each player's turn. Okay, so first player activation, second player activation, third activation, fourth activation. Okay, that's why the number of raider groups here is the same as the number of players. Once all the raiders have activated, then we do a raider spawn, and then we start a new round, and you begin all again. And then it's 5 rounds, game over. Let's start with something simple then. Let's start with movement. There's 3 different types of terrain on here. Remember, we've got a land sail. Okay, now land sails and motorised vehicles, buggies and so on, they can all move across these white hexes. These are the SALTLANDs. Land sails can also move across these yellowish ones. These are sandy plains. Motorised vehicles, they can't move across this. These darker brown ones, that's mountainous. The land sails can't go in there, but motorised vehicles can. We can move once per turn, and we can move using our vehicle. The land sail is driven by the wind, okay, and the strength of the wind. So the number of hexes we can move is determined by the current wind strength. The wind strength is currently 3, which means we can move 3 hexes. But the wind direction is also significant. What this means is we can move 3 times following these arrows. Okay, so if we wanted to move, say, this direction, northeast, this is northeast. Actually, this is northeast, but north-northeast. Then we could move 3 times. 1, 2. We can't move in here, right? Because that's Rocky Mountains. But in theory, we could move 3. Okay. These double arrows. Now we're using the wind to our advantage. The wind's going in this direction, but if you want to go kind of at 30 degrees to the wind, then you can go a lot faster. So what this means is, if I want to go this way, I can do 2 spots. Yeah, then 2 spots, and then maybe 1 spot this way. Got it? The only direction we can't go is against the wind, so we can't go back this way. Alright? So you can see, even though the wind's at its weakest, the strength's 5 and 4 as well, by attacking, you know, across a broad reach, okay, at an angle to the wind, we can actually go quite a distance here. So to move, to take the move action, I exhaust my vehicle. Okay, exhausting your vehicle, and you can kind of turn it sideways or flip it over, whatever you want. I'm going to just turn it sideways. Okay, that shows that I've used my vehicle for this turn. I'm going to get to use those 3 steps. Now I want to look for stuff. I want to look for loot, and I want to look for rumours. So I've seen a good spot. I'm going to use my 3 movement. First I'm going to go this direction. That's 1 step. 1, 2. That's 1 step in that direction. Then 1 step this way. And then I'm going to go 1 step this way and finish my turn there. Okay, so it's up to, you don't have to take the 2. Next we're going to try and collect some stuff. You can use cards. Alright. Cards with this person icon here. That means it needs a crew member. That includes your character. You can get more crew and add them to your player map. Okay, you can find people to recruit, join your gang. Okay, so that again, you kind of activate a card, activate a crew member, includes yourself, and you could play that card, or you could play the spear. This one is a one-time use. It's got this discard icon on it instead. But what I'm actually going to do is, I was thinking I could use my binoculars, but no, let's gather some stuff first. I'm going to grab a token. So I activated my crew member, and then for that action, I can take 1 adjacent token. Okay. If I had more crew, I could perhaps take this one, this one, this one. If I had 3 crew, I had 2 crew and myself. Right, as it goes, I'm just going to grab this one here. These tokens are just discarded after you use them. And this one said draw 3 cards from the Mirage deck. Let's see what we get. Okay, we got 2 spears and an empty cargo spot. I like that. I like that a lot. So, interesting thing first to keep in mind is the hand limit. Now your hand limit is shown on your player mat. character here gives 2, an empty spot here gives 5, an empty spot here gives 5. So our current hand limit is 12 cards. Right, so I can keep the 2 spears, and that'll give me 5 cards in hand. Cards with one of these colours, that tells you whether it's like a cargo item. Alright, so this one I can place here, and that'll increase my hand size by 2. It goes from 5 to 7. That's pretty much all I can do here. All these other cards, see I've activated my character card. These all require activation. I mean, I can use this one. That doesn't require a character activation. It's just a discard. And it's quite useful because that allows you to refresh one of your characters. So I could take another action at this point. So why don't I do that? Why don't I discard this? I'll put this in a discard pile. I'm going to refresh. Now it also says that you can refresh the last card that was used, but you can't refresh vehicles. And I'm going to go and grab another token. And this time I'm going to go and grab this one. Just for the sake of showing you what happens, I'd probably grab this one actually. Before I started going for rumours, I'd want to tool up a little bit. But no, let's grab the rumour token. Again, discard. Draw a rumour card. And then we have to play it. And it's got 2 orientations, right? A red side up or the white side up. And what we're going to do now is we're going to move these rumour tokens. Okay? Now I can choose to move them all north, which is in that direction, move them from this tile. These rumour tokens, they're not on any particular hex, but they are on one tile, right? This is a tile, this is a tile. Okay? Not the individual hexes. Or I could play it this way and send them in different directions. So if I played it this way, I'd send this one northeast, I'd send this one north and this one northwest, like so. Now the point here is that if these rumour markers get pushed onto unexplored tiles, then those tiles get flipped and explored. Okay, so I think I'm going to send them off in 3 different directions and take it from there. Okay, so that's played. We got 1 rumour card down, 5 to go. Once we've got all 6, then the tiles where these tokens are the escape tiles. And what we're looking for is victory cards with the matching icons. So if we were standing here on this tile, we'd need 3 cards with this matching icon on it. Alright? Things like this. Okay, that's got the cog icon on it. So what was that one? That was that symbol here. Alright? Those are the kind of things we're looking for. Remember, these are things that loot we can get from defeating raiders. There aren't any of those icons on the Mirage cards, these loots here. Alright, I think that ends the player's turn. There's nothing more we can do now. So we move to the first raider activation. Now this is where I said the 0th round, this kind of initial round is kind of a little bit shorter. 2 raiders have already activated, 2 raider groups. Alright, these cards are flipped face up. All we've got for the 0th is these 2. Okay, now I can choose which raider group I want to activate. We've got Hankerers and the dirt bikes, that's a combined group. And then here we've got the quads and the buggies. So we can choose which one we want to activate. Now this was terrible planning on my part because there's no dirt bikes, but there are Hankerers, and there's Hankerers in range of the transporter, my character. These are the raider stats. If I activated this group, then all the Hankerers and dirt bikes would move. Hankerers can move over these 3 types of terrain, so they can move over the saltlands, the sands, and the mountains, the rocky mountains. The dirt bikes, they can't move through the sand. Alright, these move 4 spaces, they move 2. This is the number of crew, so this is how many wounds they can take effectively. And these are your rewards if you defeat them. So I'm going to activate these. It's going to be bad. The thing is, I don't have any armour. I've moved into a really silly position. And the reason why it's silly is because these guys can all reach me. You know, I should have perhaps come over. Yeah. It's hard when there's so many hankerers around. What can you do? Right. So, first step is all the hankerers are going to activate. There aren't any dirt bikes. And they're all going to move closer to my character. So we flip it. This is the card we're going to use. Oh, whew. We were lucky. We were lucky. What I wasn't wanting is one of those, because that would have killed me straight away. You do have one life, so you can come back straight away. What this means is motorised vehicles will move an additional 3 steps, which doesn't affect us. Obviously the good news for us is that they're not going to attack now. So let's move each one of these. They're going to move next to the player if they can. Okay. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Yeah, he can't move in here, so he's going to move here. 1, 2. You can't move over tokens. They're just going to take the shortest route they can. So we're going to go this way. And that's all the hankerers. And that's it. We've completed our turn. We've completed the activation. So now play moves to the scientist. They'll get to go next. So I'm going to take that and I'm going to move as well. But we're going to be a little bit more aggressive. So we're going to take 2 steps, then 1 step. I'm going to activate and draw a token. I'm going to grab this one here. 3 Mirage cards. 2, 3. That's neat, that's neat. I like that a lot. Good cards. Ah, I forgot his passive ability. He gets to draw 1 extra card when he grabs a Mirage. First aid kit, nice. This is more like it. So let's throw in our water and refresh this guy. And then, well, which one? Yeah, let's use our bow. We'll activate and discard the bow. And there's a reason why we're doing this. In fact, I can do better than that. Why don't I just move to here? Yeah, 1, 2. Take my 3, yeah, then attack. This icon here shows me it does 2 normal damage. 2 damage. Now the buggy has 1 armour. So 1 armour is going to soak up the first piece of damage. The second damage is going to take out the 1 crew. That's enough to kill him. Alright? He goes back to the bag. Put him back in there. This is discarded. It's got the discard icon. And now we get our reward. So we grab, what was it, the quad bike? And 1 raider card. And we get fuel. That's not so bad. Now, of course, let's just check our hand limit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, we're still getting on me. Now, of course, I don't have to use this if I don't want to. Well, why don't we? We'll replace our land sail with this quad. We could activate again, but I'm going to leave it. What I'm going to do instead is activate the last remaining raider. Ooh, 2 damage. So there's no quads on the board now, but all the buggies are going to move 3 spots. There's only 2 of them. They can't move over sand. They're going to move towards the closest. So 1, 2, 3. You can move in here. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I can choose which one I want to go for because they're equally close. So I'm going to move it. 1, 2, 3. Move it here like that. Okay, so they weren't close enough to do any damage, which is just what I wanted, fortunately. Play's going to pass now to the ploughman, and once he takes his turn there won't be any raiders to activate, so that's going to end the round. So what we're going to have instead is a spawn. I think we're going to wrap up here. Of course, what's going to happen now is that we'll head into the first round and so on through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Each time we hit one of these we're going to spawn now at the end of the round. There's a spawn point here, number 1. We've managed to cover this spawn point, so blocking access here. And of course, as we explore, tiles are going to be flipped. We'll have new spawn points, new raiders, new mirages are going to start to appear. There's a lot of randomness in the configuration, so there's going to be lots of replayability here, and there's randomness in the selection of your rumours as well. These are the victory tokens you're trying to pick up. And that's going to allow you to get these victory cards that are going to earn you the tokens that you need to escape through those exit points that match these rumour tokens. All in all, a deeply thematic game, and it's got a lot of strategy to it in terms of your positional play. Okay, you've got to think ahead about how these raiders are going to activate. Obviously, the more tiles you reveal, the more raiders are going to be moving around. And also, at the end of a round, the wind direction is going to change. Okay, so this is going to rotate and affect how your wind-driven vehicles behave. And with lots of different types of items that you can find. And we've got a gun that fires a armour penetrating bolt, so you can work through that armour. You can find new vehicles, obviously. Okay, so all these things are going to help you have a wonderful thematic experience on this very stylised game. Look out for the Kickstarter. I hope you enjoy it. It's certainly one you can play solitaire or up to 6 players. Thanks for watching. See you next time.